Hello everybody, I gotta fix this real quick. Sorry about that. Alright. Hello everybody, welcome to the Weekend News Show here on the Lee Doodle channel. It's just me tonight. Tommy couldn't make it, not feeling the best. Everyone got a sickness going around, so he's missing today. Hope everyone's having a great start to your week and had a great Monday. Yeah, mute Spotify and we'll get going. It is episode 56 here on the Lee Doodle channel, week ahead news show. It's currently March 30th, 2026. One more day to the last day in March, and then we're here in April. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and ring that bell below the bottom right if you want to be notified whenever we go live. Our Facebook is also in the description, and we post around either lunchtime or until 3. We post whenever we go live, same day. We also do. We also won't be having it this week, but normally we do. For Northeast Ohio Sports Show on Thursdays at 8:30, and since it's springtime, garden time again, garden season, I want to get my garden ready. We'll be bringing back Healthy Living Show here soon, so stay tuned on our Facebooks for those. We have a weather below us and stocks for today above us. I'll be going into weather now for the next week. Looks like right now, today Ohio is 67, low of 50 with a 40% chance of rain. Tomorrow, we have an 85% chance of rain with thunderstorms, high of 73, low of 60, hot one tomorrow. Wednesday, another hot one, high of 62, low of 46, 95% chance of rain. Thursday, a 60% chance of rain, high of 75, low of 46. Friday, we have a 60% chance of rain as well, high of 74, low of 62, so a hot one. Saturday, 60% chance of rain again, high of 79, hot one, low of 60. Sunday, 75% chance of rain, high of 67, low of 37. Next Monday, partly cloudy, 37, 30, getting colder again. And actually, next week, we have some lows in the 30s. So be careful about that for the weather and your plants. Right now, our moon's in waxing gibbous, 96% chance of illumination. Next moon set at 6:20 a.m. Moonrise was at 5:29 p.m. Moon set is actually at 5:58 a.m. Next full moon's in 3 days. Sunrise today, we had first light at 6:41 a.m. Sunrise at 7:09. Sunset today at 7:46. Last light at 8:13. About 12 hours and 30 minutes of daylight. Getting more daylight. Let's go. We had about 0.1 inches today rain. 0.45 inches expected tomorrow. Stocks for today. Looks like Dow was the only one in the positive, about 0.1% above. We have NASDAQ negative 0.8, Russell about negative 1.5 for today, and NASDAQ, I don't even know what that says, maybe 0.8, 0.9. Sorry, S&P 500 negatives for today. The last 5 days for Dow was down about 1.08%. S&P 500 was down 2.75%, and NASDAQ down 4.46%. So stocks down with how our economy's doing. Stuff's not really working out too well. We don't really see, Trump's tariffs going up and down, and he's not really doing anything to help out the economy right now, jobs-wise or anything. So we see that happening in the stock market. All right, for a funny topic, it's Fedrusky video where he's making fun of basically Erica Kirk and the backlash from that. A comedian Drewski's going viral again. It's not just for the laughs, it's kind of how people are taking it. His latest skit, How Conservative Women in America Act. And it wasn't like, not every skit was like her, but he was definitely making fun of her. Exploded online with tens of millions of views in just days. In the video, he wears prosthetics, a blonde wig, blue contacts, portraying character a lot of people widely are saying is Erica Kirk. Controversy is funny because he's calling it whiteface and making a big deal about it. She's talked about how, he waited till Black History Month was over, and if this was reversed, all these things. It's funny, though, because the mocking mannerism and public appearances, how you act, references tied to sensitive real-life events, including her husband's death. But he didn't really do that in a video. He's just making fun of her. People are mad, like I said, because they're calling it disrespectful to a grieving widow. But he never called her out, arguing it's too personal, not the satire. It's comedy, though. We see that a lot on both sides. Dave Chappelle, a lot of these Joe Rogans, Matt Rife, the younger guys, Bear Grylls, guys like that. Singularless, sorry, my bad. Arguing is too personal, like I said, criticizing, using a race-based interpretation, like they're saying whiteface. But like there's not history tied to whiteface like there is blackface, so it's kind of dumb to say. People are saying, obviously it's clearly satire, it's not meant to be literal. And like, Drewski's made fun of everyone. He's made fun of Asian people, Mexican people, Spanish people as a whole. Even older black people, and a lot of other different people. It's funny. Even he's done white people before, because he did this old basically a NASCAR fan and being a redneck. Argues comedians should be allowed to push boundaries, comparing his style to shock comedy or character parody, and we've always seen character guys, and he's been doing it in the past. Like I said, some viewers even call it hilarious and accurate in tone. But, it's free speech and comedy, and we've seen even the right be hypocritical about free speech or boycotting or what companies could do. A lot of her viral twists are about screenshots claiming she responded. Have been all over the internet, and sometimes she has. Drewski talking about legal action, but both are false and debunked, so not really people are talking about it too much. A whiteface versus blackface debate. Like I kind of already talked about that, so I just think it's funny. I don't think it's gonna hurt Drewski because he's already done stupid stuff like this in the past, so we've seen that a lot as well. Then our next update, it would be via international, real quick Iran war update. Basically, right now we're in a diplomatic he said, she said, like I said before. Trump's claim of progress. President Trump maintains that the greatest progress is being made in negotiations to end military operations, claiming the U.S. is communicating directly and indirectly with Iranian leaders. However, kind of like last week, Iranians saying denial. Tehran continues to flatly deny talks. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Beghali acknowledged receiving a 15-point proposal from the U.S., but labeled the demand excessive, unrealistic, and irrational. So key negotiations, Trump identified his son-in-law Jared Kushner and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff as leading Americans basically pushing the effort. Pakistan has also emerged as a potential mediator, claiming it will soon host formal talks. That'll be interesting as well. We talked about before the infrastructure of uranium. Trump has threatened to complete obliteration of Iranian's vital infrastructure, including power plants, oil wells, and desalinization facilities. If the deal is not reached shortly, the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened. Looks at seizing oil assets in a recent interview. Trump suggests that the U.S. troops could seize Kog Island, Iran's primary oil export hub, stating his preference to take the oil. Iran's counter-threat, Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf warned that the Iranian forces are willing to set American ground troops on fire if they land on Iranian territory. And we do see a lot of stuff happening with that as well. We see Lebanon front, the original Israeli defense minister ordered the military step up demolitions of bridges and homes in southern Lebanon, declaring a campaign against Hezbollah has only just begun. Iranian missiles have recently struck near the Duma Nuclear Research Center in the city of Arad on Israel, injuring dozens and raising questions about the the saturation of Israel's air defenses. 1 second. Sorry about that, I want to blow out my nose real quick. So first, for human and economic toll, casualties for reported death toll surpassed 2,000, with over 1,900 killed in Iran and at least 1,200 in Lebanon. Crazy. On the U.S. side, 13 service members have been killed since the start of war on February 28th. Global energy crisis. Oil and gas prices have surged more than 50%. A shock described worse than the 1973 and 1979 crisis combined. Displacement in Lebanon. Over 1 million people, roughly 20% of the population, have been displaced by the fighting as well. Alright, on a National One topic, basically millions turned out for another No Kings protest rally held worldwide to protest against Trump. About the past weekend, millions took to the street. We kind of always like talking about this across the U.S. and around the world. As part of the latest No Kings protest, a coordinated movement opposing Donald Trump and the administration. According to CBS News, the demonstrations were massive in scale. Over 3,300 events were global, with an estimated 8 million participants, making one of the largest protest days in modern U.S. history. Protests were driven by several major issues. First was opposition to the U.S. war in Iran, anger over immigration enforcement and ICE actions. Of course, ICE, concerns about civil rights rollbacks, and we've seen that a lot in the courts. Broader fears of authoritarian style leadership like we've seen in certain cities. Flagship rally in St. Paul, Minnesota drew huge crowds and became a symbolic center of the movement, which is cool to see. Then I think, we'll have one local topic and another international topic, but I'm gonna take a breather real quick. Hope everyone's having a great night. Our local one topic, real quick, is a scheduled construction for Gerard Route 80 pedestrian bridge, which is really cool. I think we talked about this a couple months ago. I remember hearing about it, but if you were to drive around Mahoning Valley, especially Gerard Youngstown on I-80, get ready for delays, detours, and construction zones. According to the Tribune Chronicle, ODOT, Ohio Department of Transportation, is rolling a new wave of spring roadwork projects across Mahoning County. They're going to pack one of our cities. It's basically Route 80 and 422 in Girard, starting April 6. Several I-80 ramps near Girard will close overnight for bridge-related works. Drivers need to follow posted detours using Route 7-Eleven, and local roads. There's also a pedestrian bridge over I-80 that will be completely closed for about a week. Pedestrians will be routed through nearby streets like Maple Avenue. But it'll be cool because I'm excited to see some work being done. I think it's been like since the 70s people were saying that's had work done, maybe even in the 90s. But if you drive through Gerard past their exit and you're basically going halfway through and you're almost on Route 11 exit, there's a pedestrian bridge and they're working on that, and that'll be really cool. I kind of like it. A lot of kids like driving, walking, or riding their bikes throughout there. Drivers should expect basically lane restrictions, nighttime closures, and short-term detours, but it won't be too crazy. It'll be nice because every year ODOT ramps up projects to bridge repairs, pavement replacement, infrastructure upgrades, a lot of the stuff with this, potholes. So cool to see there. Alright, we only got a national topic 2 left. And it's basically DHS shutdown, stalemate, and we're seeing some stuff happen today. The shutdown has reached 45 days as of March 30th, 2026. It's still not fully over yet. Surpassing a previous record. Congress is now on a 2-week recess. A very nice vacation, leaving the department in limbo despite calls from some lawmakers to return and reach a deal. There was a failed compromise. The Senate passed a bipartisan bill to reopen most of the DHS, including TSA and Coast Guard, but notably excluded funding for ICE and parts of Customs and Border Protection (CBP). But the House ended up rejecting it. The House rejected the Senate's carve-out plan, instead passing a 60-day stopgap measure that funds the entire department, including ICE, but adds voter ID requirements, which Senates have declared dead on arrival. So now we're going to see a fight between these two sides, and really it's funny because, Republicans control both. They should be able to get this done. They control all the branches of the government right now. They should be able to get a lot done, but we haven't seen that. There's been a lot of impact to travel and security. TSA crisis, staffing shortages have led to the highest wait times in TSA history, with lines in some major airports exceeding 3 hours. More than 12% of the workforce, over 3,500 people, called out in a single day, and hundreds have resigned. Executive action. President Trump signed a addendum on Friday, deciding that DHS to restore pay to TSA employees immediately to ease travel delays. The legal and budgetary experts are questioning whether funds will come without congressional appropriation and approval. Inside agencies expect for shutdown, immigration enforcement through ICE and CBP remain largely operational due to a massive $165 billion One Big Beautiful Act passed the previous year, which funded these agencies with multi-year funding. So it's even going to take years to see this delay happen, which is sad. And we knew that with a Big Beautiful bill, but they still voted on it, and people got scammed. The American people. But politicians did what we knew they were going to do. So right now we kind of see the political blame game happening. Democrats are refusing to fund immigration agencies without significant reforms, citing recently deadly shootings by federal agents in Minneapolis, which I definitely agree with that. Two American citizens. Doesn't matter what they did, American citizens. GOP and White House stance. The administration and House Republicans argue that Democrats are holding Americans travelers hostage by refusing to fund border security and ICE, but that don't really help out much at airports. And we've seen even when they sent ICE agents to airports, they haven't helped times to restore force parts, so they've never been. So crazy to me. Crazy. And then last but not least, the Save America Act. President Trump has urged GOP senators to link DHS funding to Save America Act, which requires proof of citizenship for voting, further complicating negotiations, and really just to help out Republicans in the future. That's the only reason why he would want to do something like that, and that's crazy to me. Because I definitely think we should have proof of citizenship to vote, but that should be by writing in, giving your social security number. The problem is if you need, a lot of times it's an ID. If it's an ID, you have to pay for that. A lot of poor people can't afford that. There is programs to help them out now. But sometimes it's just time. So we really need to help out and just be hey, make it easy. Just give us your social. And if you know your social and you come in, okay, you're good. If we have a photo of you online, that's even easier. So there's ways of doing it, or just making it IDs free for everybody. Because voting should be free, and that's a thing. Voting should be free and easy. If you know your social, you go and vote. Easy. Because the whole thing is if someone else uses your social, that's fraud, and they'll find it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I agree with not funding ICE, especially with how they're hurting American citizens, killing American citizens, and just how in general. Trump said, they're getting criminals. If they're only getting 10 to 14% of these people are criminals, it's really bad, and it's too hypocritical for me. So we need to stand up, and obviously because of a Big Beautiful bill, and we know how much Trump loves Bill. They're funded for a while, so it's going to take a while, take years to do this, and we just have to look on history and say, okay, blue wave, please, for the love of God. Sorry about that, 1 second. Well, that's really it for me, guys. I hope everyone's having a great night. Once again, sorry Tommy couldn't make it tonight. I'm kind of coming back from a sickness as well, so that's really it for me. Make sure you guys stop by next week, because once again we won't have a Northeast Ohio Sports Show this week because I'll be gone. Next Monday we'll be here at 8:30 with Tommy for a week ahead news show. I really appreciate it. This was episode 56. That's it for me. Good night, Youngstown. Peace. Have a great week, everybody.